Welcome to another edition of the Willie Bragg Show. I am back. Yes, it's been a little while since I've been away. You know, the same old excuse. Tired as shit. as usual. But I'm back, and I got a lot of catching up to do. So and I'm going to try my damnedest to catch up with everyone. So here we go. Let me go and do my shout outs with my crew first, and then we'll get underway. We have Warren. How are you doing? It's election season when all your favorite hits that have been that's been constantly ignored or shut down are trotted out as Joe Biden will blank more like bullshit for all. Oh yeah, I absolutely know about that. Yeah, yeah. I think people are seeing right through it. Even some of the more high-minded side of the vote blue no matter who crowd that had false hopes in Genocide Joe, they didn't anticipate he was going to be this fucked up. So, I think it's a wake-up call for a lot of folks. Let's see. Yo says Daniel Berry sports highlights. And Warren says, Psyche, more more number counts, bitches. Mwahaha. Sorry. That's how I operate. Yeah. So we have here, let's see. Yeah. Yes, right. Desert Manta says here, hey, the Willie Bragg Show, Dirtbag left us, the one and only. Absolutely. And everybody's doing their little greetings here and all of that. So let's get underway with everything right now. And I want to talk about old-fashioned wokeness. How people define wokeness and how they get it wrong and the misunderstanding, even for those of us on the left who have some critiques of what it means. So, and that's kind of where I try to put in my 2 pennies worth. So I guess we'll get started with an interview. Taylor Lorenz. I don't know too much about Taylor Lorenz, but apparently she interviewed. There's no apparently she did. Chaya Raichik. Cannot pronounce the bitch's name from Lives of TikTok, but anyway, I'm going to go ahead and play that interview, a little bit of it, a small portion of it, and I will give my take on this. So give me a moment here. We'll get started right now.
Oh my gosh, the struggles of LA, I swear. Okay, well now that we're going, so thank you so much for meeting. First of all, I saw Seth Dillon today saying that you guys are no longer affiliated. What happened with there? I know that he invested in you early, was a supporter of you. What happened to that relationship?
Just parted ways.
For what reason?
Personal reasons.
Yeah.
Desert Mantis, I have no idea who Taylor Lorenz is.
You didn't align.
Totally amicable. I love Seth.
Yeah.
He's a great mentor.
So why wouldn't you want him involved, or why isn't he involved in the business anymore?
Just personal reasons. I'm not going to get into it.
Oh, okay. When did that sort of break off?
Recently.
So how many staffers? Tell me a little bit more about your organization.
We are a small team, just a couple people.
And it's all distributed?
It's what?
It's all distributed, as in it's all remote, pretty much?
Do you have
any office space?
It's remote, yeah.
Got it. So when did you start, I guess, what got you into all of this? I've always wanted to ask you. I know, I wrote about sort of the history of your Twitter account, but how did you get involved in politics?
If you watch any of my interviews, I talk about this all the time. But just, COVID radicalized me.
Yeah. In what way?
And they were like forcing us to wear masks and not letting us leave our homes.
Yeah.
And, not letting us work and people losing their jobs. And then people.
Yeah, let me tell you something. Chaya Raichik, instead of getting upset about well, it might have been okay to be upset a little bit about the lockdowns and maybe wearing a mask a little more than maybe it should have been possible to wear. Maybe you should have been worried about people losing their health care, and maybe you should have been trying to advocate for a universal basic income. Maybe we could have done that. The COVID crisis would have been a little bit more bearable.
Well, now forcing a vaccine, an experimental vaccine, people dying from the vaccine.
So how did that get you interested in LGBTQ issues?
It got me interested in politics, and then once I was interested in politics, I stumbled upon this whole movement, and I was absolutely appalled by what I was seeing.
Appalled by what?
The radicalization of it, the way that they come after our most innocent and vulnerable population, or
the fact that people who are LGBTQ exist is basically what she's saying.
kids. The way that it makes there's nothing logical about it. There's nothing logical about chopping off kids' body parts. There's nothing logical.
It's not happening. No kids' body parts are being chopped off. Nobody in the mainstream part of the LGBTQ movement or even advocating chopping off body parts of little children. That's not a thing. It's not a thing 99% of the time. If there is gender reassignment surgery for a young kid, it's because it's medically necessary. Like the life of the child would be saved or something like that. Otherwise, what she's saying is absolute bullshit. It's not happening. She's doing a scare tactic to make it sound like that there are a bunch of perverts trying to go and indoctrinate kids and tricking them into thinking they want to become another gender, and that's not a thing. That's not a thing.
About giving kids porn in school. There's two sexes, and that's it. So anything out of that, it's just based on lies and nonsense.
Yeah. Did you grow up? I know you grew up in a sort of a more conservative community. Did you know any LGBTQ people growing up? What was your exposure to that community just in life prior to sort of understanding the world through politics?
I never really paid attention to it.
So you didn't have any LGBTQ friends or anything,
No.
family members?
No.
So your first exposure to the LGBTQ world was through basically learning about it through the media ecosystem?
Through themselves, actually. They would say exactly what their intentions are, what their whole movement is about.
Uh-huh.
So I learned about it through watching their own videos.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. What sort of videos were you watching? I mean, are you just talking about the TikToks that you share and stuff?
And tons more on TikTok. It's all over TikTok.
Yeah.
Very easy to find.
Yeah.
These are the same people who would tell you that a bunch of Yahoo rednecks storming the U.S. Capitol were secretly Black Lives Matter and secretly Antifa people taking orders from Nancy Pelosi. But I guess maybe the most crazy fanatical fringe elements. Every community has a fringe element. Doing this is somehow the real thing, and could it be maybe it could be some feds involved with this too? Had they ever thought about that? No. It's because she wants to project evil in everybody who's LGBTQ, and that's what it comes down. This little bitch here, Chaya Raichik, whatever the fuck her name is, wants to go and project evil, and it's all in the name of pushing a culture war. When we got real problems in this country, not people who are LGBTQ existing, wanting to live like everybody else, basically living to be treated equal under the law.
I'm curious, I feel like there's been, especially on my colleagues have done great reporting on sort of like this rift on Twitter. I know that you have a very conservative fan base, and in your comments sometimes you'll see a lot of commentary about sort of the great replacement theory. What are your thoughts on that?
What are your thoughts on the comments on your post telling me to kill myself?
Horrible. Yeah, horrible. Yeah. Obviously against that. Yeah.
So will you come out and condemn that publicly?
Oh, I would condemn it anytime. I'm against murdering anyone, of course.
So you're against death threats against me?
I'm a big, as somebody that's dealt with a lot of online harassment, I don't defend threatening to murder anyone. But I guess I'm curious,
because a lot of times it comes after an attack from in the media, like someone like you or another journalist.
So are you saying that?
And the right wing do not ever go and attack anybody else. Look, if anybody's really threatening her and everything, I condemn that myself. I don't support anybody threatening somebody's life or harassing somebody physically or anything like that, what have you. Anything beyond hurting people's feelings. So, but I, thing about it is, she doesn't need to act like only one size to do this crap. All sides are actually guilty of this, but I'm fair, she's not.
That if somebody posts something and then attacks follow, that person should answer for those attacks?
No, that's not what I'm saying.
Oh, okay.
I'm saying that people like you tell me that all the time, so I'm just asking if you think the same thing.
Yeah, I don't think I have said that here, but I think it's kind of interesting, I guess, in the conservative movement, there's this ideology around sort of white nationalism, which is obviously kind of a hardline ideology that's generally been pretty critical of Jewish communities. And I'm wondering, as a Jewish woman, how do you feel about sort of aligning yourself with those people and accounts? You see this sort of rhetoric in your replies, and I only bring it up. I'm not saying that you necessarily endorse that rhetoric. I would imagine that you don't. But how do you kind of think about those nuances when you're thinking about kind of the audience that you're building?
Some of your audience says we should chop off kids' body parts. What do you think about that?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Like a girl said she wants to be a boy, so she chops off her breasts.
I'm a big, I believe in personal liberty and bodily autonomy personally.
So kids should be able to cut off their breasts if they think that they're boys.
I mean, I believe in gender ideology. I guess I personally, my feeling is that I believe in personal liberty. I grew up in a town where a lot of people, for their middle school graduation, women got nose jobs. I knew somebody that got a boob job at age 14. And I guess I struggle to kind of understand the criticism when there's certainly no criticism of that sort of thing, right? But then there's criticism of this other sort of gender affirming, stuff. So
you're comparing a boy being allowed to chop off his penis to a teenage girl getting a nose job?
Well, just to be extra clear, I don't believe that.
It's not happening. As I said, it is not happening. There is no big crisis of children chopping off their private parts to that is not happening. Boys are not sitting there chopping off their wee-wees, and girls are not sitting there chopping off their breasts so they can each other become the opposite gender. That is not happening. It is not happening. And usually people who says shit like this, they try to manipulate legislation in the state that will even deprive adults of getting gender reassignment surgeries and care and all of that. So fuck this person, because she thinks she's a lady, but I'll keep my comments to myself.
13-year-olds are able to make those sort of medical decisions.
Minors are, yeah.
Oh, really? And where?
Yeah. Children's National Hospital in DC gives 16-year-olds hysterectomies.
Oh, 16-year-olds.
They gave me that. They told me that directly. They said 16 girls and younger. That's what they said.
They said.
So hysterectomies. There are definitely minors. I know for sure as young as 12 who are getting double mastectomies. They definitely allow vaginoplasties for minors.
Okay. Listen, I am no stranger to LGBTQ people as a straight man. I know a lot of people who are LGBTQ. I have not run across a child that has changed their gender yet or transitioning or what have you. I have not. I've not. I have not. Yeah, and honestly, even young kids who are questioning their sexuality, whatever, you know, I guess that's a high school thing, and they're what have you. I mean, I don't know, but the point I'm trying to make is the things that she claims are taking place, all this stuff that's taking place, and some accusations that libs of TikTok will make, they're even worse than what's being projected here. Um, I don't see it happening. I don't see it happening. I don't see it being a thing. I don't see it being this thing that people talk about. I don't. Honestly. Yeah, I mean, I don't. And obviously if it was happening, if some of this really fucked up stuff that she claims is happening was happening, I would condemn it. And and it's not. It's not. She is she is catering to the religious right in this country, to the evangelicals and everything. And and she ought to just, as if she's I guess she's Jewish, she ought to realize these evangelicals hate her too. I can guarantee you that is the case.
Minors and phalloplasties. I'm not aware of a specific case of a minor, but they allow 18-year-olds.
Yeah, which has,
Okay,
18-year-olds, you're an adult. But let's just get back to the Great Replacement stuff, because I'm curious, what are your thoughts on that whole ideology?
I mean, how many? There were times that there were some months over the past 3 years that there were more illegals coming into our border than children being born.
Oh no! More people from another country than kids being born here in the United States. Please, really? Yeah, here's the thing. I think there are too many kids being born everywhere in the United States and everywhere around the world. I think just in general, we're overpopulated world. I don't favor anything fucked up, except for people who use their common sense, sex education, reproductive rights, that sort of thing, and people protecting themselves, to make sure to make sure they can have fun without having some stupid kid come out as a result of their fun. So but this whole great replacement theory, every time I hear somebody talks about it, that is simple racism 101. That's what it is. I mean, it is. And not only is it racism, is I even hate to say this because it sounds like I'm trying to comfort them, but it's not even happening. The so-called great replacement theory that, oh no, the country's going to become brown, oh, what have you. I mean, if you're worried about Hispanics catching up with the rest of the what is the established white population, remember many Hispanics are also white too. So it's just crazy what how these people get so worked up over it. Okay, the country will be slightly more olive skin. Okay, okay, the country will be slightly less Protestant, slightly more Catholic. That's probably the extent of it. Okay, I mean, okay, we'll be Argentina maybe. Okay, we'd be I mean, that's what they're worried about. Oh well, just whatever.
In the U.S., does that not look like they're trying to replace us?
I guess sort of
They're
imagine
bringing
America
in a whole
as
new population.
a melting pot. Isn't that sort of what America was founded
No,
on?
but they're actually bringing in more people than are actually being born.
So I guess it sounds like
she doesn't even realize that it's not even a problem. But here's the thing: if she doesn't want illegals coming to the United States, maybe she should stop supporting politicians and supporting people that makes life so shitty in these countries that force them to come here. Because we have a policy that we sit there and we squash progressive movements. We either overthrow leftist governments or we manipulate them. If they can't be, we make them control opposition. We that's what we do here in the this is what our United States government will do. So and that's what's always been done. And they did that in the name of protecting corporate power and that sort of thing. And more neoliberalism causes misery, and misery causes a migration crisis, and a migration crisis, cause people to go over to the border. But here's the thing: I even with the whole border thing, they try to make it so partisan. I mean, well, the Democrats will say, "Oh, those cages! Trump put those people in the cages. They were Obama cages," and the Republicans are like, "We didn't have this border crisis when Trump was in power." And yes, they had a border crisis when Trump was in power. Nothing changes with the simple changing of the presidency on these issues. That's what it comes down to. And if you really want to do something about immigration, stop making people's lives in other countries miserable. That's basically what I have to say about that. I'm not bothered by the influx of people coming here into this country, because some people be like, when they say bunch of Democrats, that's another stupid issue, thing to bring up about the Democrats. That's stupid, because not all people who are Hispanic are political monolith. There are Hispanics who are going to vote Republican because they are opposed to abortion, and they're going to be Hispanics that are going to vote for the Democrats because they are supposedly the party of the working man, so that's basically what's going to happen. I don't even think it's going to affect the electoral sensibilities of this country either way. So people are just crazy.
You sort of do ascribe to this theory of the Great Replacement. How does that make
I just
you
look at
feel?
the facts and the numbers.
Well, so I mean, just let's give a corollary, right? A lot of Jewish people fled, Europe, came over here also as immigrants. And there's a lot of criticism towards Jewish people in those movements, in those far right movements. So I'm just wondering, as a Jewish woman, sort of how you feel about that and your role in cultivating this fan base that might think of you as a minority, an outsider.
Not all cultures are equal. Yeah.
So I know you have a lot of concerns about educational materials and books, library books and things, especially.
They're importing people who want to destroy America, and who come here and do not stand for what America stands for. So, and I think, and we see it, there's time after time after time after time. They come in, they're destroying our cities, they bring crime with them. And
what brings crime is poverty. What brings crime is getting rid of our manufacturing base, getting rid of our what a little bit of union paying jobs that exist, and it's by design. So that's what brought the crime in. So you want to do something about crime, do something about poverty. But people like Chaya Raichik will not do just that. But here's the thing: I can go ahead and keep going on with this asinine interview, but giving you a taste of what she's all about, and she's a horrible person. And if you want to watch the rest of that interview, I can put the link right there. But she's just a horrible individual. So just to touch a little bit more on her, we're going to put a little bit of a comedy spin on her from Onion Nuggets, which is Amazing Atheist, his brother Scotty, and and gosh, Paulie knows Paul Ego. They make fun of her right here. So, and this is where I got to talk about. So here we go. In a second. Hold on.
How do you define wokeness?
Wokeness is the destruction of normalcy and how do you define?
Can any of these dipshits just get like a standard definition and just memorize it?
How many times do they have to be asked to define wokeness, and then it's just like, deer in the headlights?
Can you define wokeness?
If they did that, let's be funny.
The destruction of normality. Okay,
No.
what does that even mean?
No. She said the destruction of normalcy.
Wokeness is the destruction of normalcy.
So the next question.
Yeah, that's the kind of thing that they can't define wokeness. I mean, it's something that they hate, and they can't define wokeness because, well, on one hand, well, I mean, I know what it is. It's political correctness to these people's eyes. I mean, that's what it is. I mean, it's old-fashioned political correctness, or what they call the SJW mindset. But they can't exactly explain that. But they also, to some degree, don't want to sound racist. But they want to really say, well, is too much black attitude and it's too much uppityness from the LGBTQ community and all these other marginalized groups, and I feel so insecure because they're standing up for their rights. That's basically what it comes down to. And I mean, I don't even believe in identity politics, but the thing is that I observe these people, and that's what it comes down to. That's exactly what it is with these folks. And it gets goofier than that, but that's what it is with these people. And just to show, I'm not just beating up on this silly individual. Hold on here. Brianna Joy Gray asked Bethany Mendel the same thing a while back, about a year ago. So here we go. We'll play it and listen to what she has to say about it. Come on. All right. Thank you.
Would you mind defining woke? Because it's come up a couple times, and I just want to make sure we're on the same page.
So, I mean, woke is sort of the idea that this is going to be one of those moments that goes viral. I mean, woke is something that's very hard to define, and we've spent an entire chapter defining it. It is sort of the understanding that we need to totally reimagine and redo society in order to create hierarchies of oppression. Sorry, it's hard to explain in a 15-second soundbite.
Yeah, look, your time.
I mean, it's.
Would you?
Wrong. She doesn't know what it is either. Bethany Mandel is dumb, just like Chaya Raichik. She can't define it. So, and I'll go ahead and play this one here because I have something to say about it. This is from a while back. This is from Kyle Kalinske when he had dark hair and he was criticizing AOC. Not necessarily for championing the usage of the term Latinx, but anyway, he was talking about the whole thing where people used the term woke and all of that, and what he had to say about woke is I agree with him largely what he had to say. So I'll go ahead and play that little segment right here.
I'm very critical whenever the right brings up wokeness. I'm very critical because they use that as a wet blanket to throw over everything. I mean, you could literally be talking about universal healthcare and they're like, look at this woke nonsense. So they're ridiculous. The way they use it is dumb. Cancel culture too, talking about that and bringing it up in every single context when it doesn't apply, that annoys the shit out of me.
And he's right about that, because they will do that. If they don't like something, they will call it woke in a heartbeat, and that's it. That's what they will do. And I seen it for myself. In the last couple of years, I on Facebook, I have my old Facebook page. I have some conservative people I knew. They weren't conservative at the time, but they just kind of turned right wing over the years, and so they actually started calling some of this stuff woke. Like, for example, with Build Back Better, when before it was killed by Joe Manchin and Kirsten Sinema, two of the biggest assholes in the U.S. Senate right now. I mean, I hate them even worse than some of the Republicans. They're worse than some of the Republicans. They're the worst Democrats up there. West Sheet caucuses with the Democrats. You know what I mean? In a way, they're worse than the Republicans, because they vote with the Republicans most of the time. And so they're scum in my eyes, and so they killed this piece of legislation, but there were people out there that called Build Back Better woke. Where you lower Medicare eligibility down to 60, had the government negotiate for lower drug prices. You get rid of the right to work laws, and you had labor law reforms that expand union rights, and you pay family leave and free community college tuition. It wasn't a perfect piece of legislation by any stretch of the imagination. It wasn't, but it was one of the best. Was one of the best pieces of legislation in decades that would have actually made some kind of a fundamental difference in people's lives. And it was killed by these folks here. But some people on the right call Build Back Better woke, because woke is anything I don't like. Previously, it was socialism is everything I don't like. And then at one time it was liberalism is everything I don't like. Take it far back in the Reagan years. The TV evangelist said it was secular humanism. It was everything that they didn't like. So, I mean, it just keeps going on and on and on and on. But let me also, I put this on Twitter a couple of weeks ago. When was it? April the 2nd. Pretty recent, actually. And it's from a stupid Twitter channel called End Wokeness. Then let's see, we can have it here, and okay, right here. What is this doing on the chat on a profile that's supposedly opposed to wokeness? That's what they're concerned about. California hiked the minimum wage to $20 an hour for fast food workers this week. You'll never guess what happened. March 29, talked about the burger prices, $5.65. And then all of a sudden, by April 1st, it was $5.90. And same thing here, they raised it up a few cents, like a quarter or something like that. And they're getting all upset about this, what's it, 35 cents? Yeah, 35 cents. They're getting upset. About 25 cents. Let's see, 65, 75, 85. Yeah, 25 cents. They're getting upset over this, and they call that woke. Paying people, $20 is not even a living wage in California. But the fact that people advocating for a wage increase is somehow an act of wokeism. It's just like, fuck these people, because it's basically anything I don't like is woke. And so we need to make fun of these people when they do this, when they go and try to take you on and try to shut you up. What are you talking about? It's woke. It's woke. It's woke. You need to go take your middle finger, put it up to their face, and say, "Fuck you, you retard." That's what you need to tell them. That's not a very woke thing to tell these people, is it? Taking the middle finger in their face and calling them a fucking retard, because that's what they are. And anybody who sits there and believe that bullshit are also fucking retards. So not very politically incorrect, not very politically correct, not very woke. It's not very SJW of me, but damn it, I meant every word of it. So the only thing I would say is no offense to the actual retarded folks who can't help it. But my point is, you need to refute this when they bring this bullshit up. So I just wanted to have this said and everything. So let's see here. Let's go and take a look at let's take a look at some of the comments here over here. I see Dr. Nick. Hi, how are you doing, my friend? All right. Let's see. Thank you. I appreciate that. Willie should call in TJ. The Jimmy Dore show and do a skit with those voices. He barely knows who I am. I did meet Stephanie once. Get me in contact. I guess I could do that. So, let's see here. Republicans cuss, they oppose Castro. Yeah. Well, you're talking about Fidel Castro that gives the nightmares. Yeah, I know you're talking about what I was talking about, how they like to fuck with Latin America. Not just Castro, they or Maduro today. They did this to Michael Manley in Jamaica. They also did this to Salvador Allende, and don't do this to any left leaning government and movement in Latin America, because that's what they do. So, Dr. Nick, that's Mr. Bull, a good day to all. Kill your egregores. Sorry, I cannot pronounce that right now because I'm tired or whatever. But let's see here. All right, let's see what we got. All right, and I see what we have here. So let me just say, if you all like what you heard, please press like and comment. Comment any ways you disagree with what I have to say. We can have a conversation if you like. Feel free to share the content on this channel. As a First Amendment absolutist, it's my duty to inform you to create your own platform and utilize it, because we are, in fact, the muckrakers of our time. Also, be sure to subscribe to the Willie Bragg Show here on YouTube, Twitch. Follow me on Twitter, and follow me. Rumble. I'm gonna try to get that thing started again. And remember to reject corporate media. And until next time, just remember this: to free Julian Assange, free Palestine, free healthcare for all, and of course, free speech. Take care, and hopefully you'll see me sooner than you think. Bye-bye.